Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Van Helsing. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guide 365. Okay, Van Helsing is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Universal. It comes in a standard edition, available at all your local and online retailers. Now, as far as the film itself, I remember watching this initially in the theater, and I'll have to admit, I was a bit disappointed. I am a big fan of the director, Stephen Sommers. Of course, he did one of my favorite movies, The Mummy. And while I liked the film, I felt it was a bit stepped down in quality. I kind of had some issues with some of the early CGI. This was 2004 after all. But I did enjoy the overall story. But I think it was more or less just the distraction of just some of the effects that really kind of put me off. And then I think I watched the movie one other time after that. It was on basic cable or something. So this is the first time I've had a chance to watch it on a physical format, and what better way than the 4K Ultra HD. I have to admit, I kind of like it now. I don't know if it's maturity or something like that, or just, the fact that we get so much CGI in movies nowadays, that just kind of putting all that aside and watching the film, it's a fun adventure. And of course, Hugh Jackman, relatively new to, action movies, because X-Men came out only a few years prior to that. So he's still kind of finding his footing. And Kate Beckinsale, who did previously the first Underworld movie and went on to do many others after, what can I say? I think there's a good cast here. The film is fun. It's dumb, it's fun, and I think I have a little bit more of an appreciation for it now. So, yeah, I'm a fan of the movie. What can I say? So, all right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Van Helsing here. I believe this originally came with a slipcover during its initial release. Of course, it's been several years after the fact, so unfortunately, no cover for this one. But I do like the artwork. I think it's really solid. Jackman and Beckinsale, stars of the show, they look great here. And then we have the back, and then the spine, and then the interior, some artwork on the 4K disc. Yeah, overall, nice presentation. Now it's time to talk about the picture quality and the audio. Van Helsing on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 1:8:5:1 aspect ratio. It is an upscale from a 2K digital intermediate with HDR10 for the grading. Now the movie was shot on film and finished at a 2K DI, but it still retains its film grain with no DNR or post-processing applied. This being one of the earlier discs here, HDR grading I feel does a very good job, although I would say if it was released today it might be slightly more refined. But that being said, I do feel the color palette is pretty strong. There is a stylistic choice implemented throughout the film. So the movie starts initially in black and white, which I feel looks really good, but when it moves into color, it kind of over-exaggerates slightly with contrast. So whenever there's like colors such as red, for instance, it gets you a little bit more in your face. And there's a couple certain hues that I think are enriched. But overall, HDR, the color grading, I think is fairly strong, and it looks good here on 4K. Black levels are fairly good, pretty much deep throughout the movie, with no real issues of elevation to speak of, though I did notice in a couple instances some black crush creeping in. It wasn't something I would say would be overly distracting unless you're actively looking for it, but it is there nonetheless. Since this movie is inherently dark, presumably to hide some of the CGI effects, I think it does look good overall. But once again, just minor issues of black crush aside, I think this is a solid HDR grading with black levels. As for detail enhancement, here we get a modest increase. The CGI dated at 2004 or early 2000s, it looks very CGI, so it often makes a very smooth appearance when it comes to those elements. But I will say, even though it is a 2K upscale, facial features and skin textures, clothing, up close benefit here, and mid-level shots also have an increase as well. But it's those far away shots and once again CGI elements that suffer from a little bit of softness, but I think overall there is a nice increase in the resolution. Van Helsing on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a DTS:X audio presentation. I have to admit, I was a little taken back when I fired up the 4K player and turned the surround sound on. This is an aggressive audio track, no doubt about it. I don't quite have the memory of what it sounded like in the initial theatrical experience, but here at home, you are getting robust, energetic, and a very great use of the surround sound environment. The center channel is clean and clear with dialogue, with no issues to report, even during some of the more chaotic moments throughout the film. And the front speakers, they complement the center channel nicely, and they do a good job in their own right. Mid-level and rear speakers, there's a lot going on in those speaker placements. Atmospheric, ambience, musical cues, action sequences are alive behind you. They have good energy, and overall, they offer a very immersive experience. The height speaker activity is well implemented throughout the film. Creatures flying above you, arrow volleys, other ambient effects make good use up there. And when it comes to the LFE, it's pretty aggressive, boomy. It's gonna punch you in your seat, no problems there. I think it has a good energy and offers a very solid low end. For the picture quality, I'm gonna give Van Helsing on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+. This early 4K disc I feel is a very solid effort. The HDR grading is good. The color palette runs a little bit hot at times. Black levels suffer from a little bit of crush. The enhancements and detail is there, albeit a little bit of issues with the CGI elements. All around, I think the 4K presentation is good and a worthy addition to your collection. For the audio mix, I'm going to give this one an A+. I was thoroughly impressed with the overall audio experience of this film. This movie has an aggressive soundtrack, the surround sound environment is used quite well, everything up front sounds fantastic, the high speakers and LFE channel, they all have plenty to do. This is a great demo-worthy disc in my opinion, and you should definitely check it out for yourself. So that is my review of Van Helsing on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking this up for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel, but if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.